If you're a new angler and just starting out fishing, you're likely very eager to start filleting and eating your own catch. I mean, why not? They're absolutely fantastic. In this video today, we're going to be talking about some of the equipment you should have when getting ready to fillet your fish, as well as some tips and tricks for success and safety. Hello and welcome back to our TackleShare YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can become aware of all the content we have posted every week. All right, now let's get to our tips for filleting fish. Now you're going to want to start off with a nice stable table or surface that you're going to be working with. In this case, I've picked out, one of my nice folding tables that's very stable and a nice cutting board. But what I noticed about my cutting board is it's going to slide around on this table quite a bit. So what I've got is my handy towel or rag that I'm always working with it. And I'm just going to throw that underneath just to keep it safe, because you want a surface that's not going to be moving around. Fish are slimy, they're going to be moving around a lot. You don't need the surface that you're working with to be moving around. And now it's nice and stable. Sometimes I like to use whatever we can have available. It doesn't have to always be a cutting board. It could just be, a piece of wood, or sometimes you can use a paddle if you're out fishing. Or even I like to use a cardboard box, because that way you can unfold that cardboard box, use it to fillet your fish, box that all the gunk back up and dispose of it. But if you're in a situation where you're properly set up, you got a nice stable table, that's what you need to give yourself that added advantage. The next, you guessed it, our fillet knife. It's important to have a very sharp and reliable knife. I would say any new anglers purchasing a knife, a 6-inch blade, which is what the size of this blade is. And when we say 6 inches, it's the size from here, from like the beginning of the blade to the tip. That's pretty good for almost any game fish that you'd be eating. You can also downsize a little bit if you're going to be doing a lot of pan fishing and filleting panfish. A smaller knife, so a 4-inch knife, is also very handy. I keep both of those knife sizes in my tackle box because that's the size of the fish I eat. If you do, further your fishing experiences and start targeting a little bit larger fish, you can get larger knives. But for the sake of general purpose, your first knife, a 6-inch knife or a 4-inch knife is probably all you need. Now, if you do want to check your fishing regulations to make sure that the fish you're keeping are legally able to be kept under your fishing license, I'll put the information for that in the description below. So like I said earlier, it's not only just the knife, but you also want a quality knife. So you want to have a lot of flex. Now, as a new angler, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on all different equipment, but you definitely want to have a knife that's got nice amount of flex to the blade. That's going to allow you to get closer to the bones and closer to the skin, so you can get that nice, beautiful fillet without wasting any meat. Now, I said you want it to be sharp. No one likes working with a dull knife. A dull knife makes it harder. You may get frustrated and push harder. But a sharp knife will cut the direction that you want it to with ease, and you shouldn't have to push very hard. So a sharp knife will work very well. A dull knife will start to hit bones or hit other things and will deflect, and that may cause problems and put you at risk of hurting yourself. So making sure that you have a sharp knife is key. Now, conveniently, this knife that I've just purchased actually has, right here at the tip of it, it has a sharpening stone there. So, you're filleting, let's say you've gotten through several different fish, you notice that it's not quite working the way it was originally. You've obviously started to dull your blade. So if your handy dandy rag or paper towels or whatever you have, you may even need to wash your knife, but give it a clean. You're going to go through it a couple times and clean it all off. Make sure there's absolutely no scales or slime or any buildup on that knife. And then hold it down, and you're going to give it a nice good edge with a couple rungs through your sharpener. That sharp edge and that sharp knife is a safe knife. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself all the advantages you need for success, but making sure your knife is sharp. Having said that, if you do have a poor grip, and that's our next tip, is a very good grip. Not a strong grip, but a firm grip. You want to make sure you know where that knife is going should you hit something and it deflect off. You want to make sure you've got a good grip so that you're protecting yourself. So a good grip, and that is a foundation from having, dry hands. if you're pulling fish in and out of a bucket, you're likely to have a wet or slimy or even a tired hand. So when you're filleting, and it does take a long time if you're doing several fish back to back, take your time, make sure you've got a good grip to keep your fish under control and keep your blade under control. Now, that brings us to our last suggestion, and that would be our handy dandy fillet glove. Made out of special fibers, these gloves are cut resistant. So if you're holding on to your fish and something happens and maybe your finger comes up, if that knife grazes over top of that glove, you're protected. It will not cut through. It is not puncture resistant. So any slips where you have the business end of the knife, the pointy end, it will come through. So it's a safety net or a safeguard should you have a slip and graze that blade across your fingers. I'd highly suggest using a glove, especially if you're new to filleting fish and you're inexperienced. An added benefit to using a glove is that if fish, like the one I have in front of me, this is a northern pike, they're known for having a lot of mucus and a lot of slime on them, which makes them very, very slippery and hard to hold on to. That glove is going to give you that extra grip you need to make sure you've got a good grasp on that fish. As well, I fillet a lot more fish in the winter than I do in the summer, so those fish tend to be a lot cooler and they're cold, and I'm a bit of a wuss, and so my hand can't handle that cold temperature for too long. So that glove gives you that added, protection to give you, more longevity for filleting fish. So those are the tips we have for you. You want to make you start off with a good foundation, a very sharp and reliable blade, a good grip on your knife, and some hand protection. All right, so now I'm going to get working on my next video, which is going to be how to cut a northern pike into 5 beautiful boneless fillets. If you want to check out our current one of our fish filleting videos, I'll put the link for that in the description. That's how to fillet a rock bass, and I'll also put a card up here at the top of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any comments or suggestions or videos you want to see, leave me a comment below and we'll see if we can get to it. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.